give the bees puff of smoke in the entrance and under the roof. Now we just break off the crown board. As you can see, there's not much activity on this top box. This is the super that they hadn't touched, so this is the one that I will probably move to the other hive just to get it out of this hive. Yeah, nothing's been touched on that at all, so we can completely remove that one. Just put it over here for now. Just have a quick look at the centre one. Oh, look at that. That is capped honey. So they're working quite well on that box. Obviously when you get to the outside there's nothing. So let's try this one. Yeah, there's honey in there and they're all just starting to cap that off. Let's just see what they're doing with these. Yeah, they're still beginning to fill these outer ones out, and if you can see that, but you can see the nectar that's going in. Right, so if we have a look at this central one, this should be complete, and there you go, that's 80% complete, I would say. So that is obviously at the right moisture content. That is 100% complete, that side. That is of the right moisture content for storage. So, and that's the way we eat the honey. It's down, they take the moisture down to between 15.6 and 18.7% moisture. So that's the water content. The bees do that so that it concentrates their food down, so it doesn't require so much storage. And also with the enzymes and everything that go in it, that acts as a preservative. Honey would never go off. So but anyway, that's the way we eat it in its stored form. The bees, when they come to use it, will actually water it back down to a sugary nectar consistency and consume it that way. Okay. Now, I'm not too interested really in these top supers because they are just honey. So what we can do is one back on top. So that they're in the right order. Take these off. That is very, very heavy. Oh. There. So it's reasonably secure. Now what you can see here, this is a queen excluder. What that does is it traps the queen down on the bottom, because there's a double brood, so there's two brood boxes. That's where they rear their young and lay the eggs and everything. We put a queen excluder on, which allows the workers to come through. but the queen's too big and she can't get through there, so she can't make her way into these top boxes that we've just taken off into the supers. So there will be no eggs or anything in there, because we don't want them obviously in there. We don't want brood in there, we want honey so that we can extract it for ourselves. So let's just take this queen excluder off. And as you can see how gentle the actual bees are. So let's just check, because of course the queen, even though she can't get through, could be on the underside of here. Well, let's just clear some of this propolis off. This is their glue, and it works absolutely brilliantly because it's very, very difficult to get those boxes apart. And we take that out first. And the reason being is if we took this one out, that could be completely stuck to this whole side here, and we'll end up killing bees, rolling bees and killing them. So we work that one loose and we gently raise that up. Oh, what we got here, even though this is in the brood box, that is completely capped honey. Now this is the honey that they're going to use for their stores, so we don't want this. We're going to keep that for them for the winter, so they would have plenty of stores to see them through. Now they make an excess amount of honey, which is what is stored above in the supers. Let's move that out onto that. And that's the honey we will harvest. We only take their surplus. We don't take what they need. Again, that's all just capped honey, and they're just starting to, these were new frames in a couple of weeks back, so on this one they're just starting, this is still just foundation, they started building it out and storing honey there. So we know those two there are in the right order for going back, so that one will go up against the side and that one in. This now gives us enough room to manoeuvre these just to, there we got working space. Again, all that is honey. Oh, and pretty much the same on that side. Oh, just squashed a bee. Sorry, Mrs. B. So all that is honey. Go in there. Let's remove her. But this is also why we try and disturb the bees as little as possible, because in each inspection there will be bee fatalities, I'm afraid. Right, there's some old brood nectar along the honey along the side, and I can see in there that the empty cells have been laid up with eggs. And I can see eggs in there, so I know the queen's in there and has visited that frame in the last few days. That is brood, and they're backfilling with nectar. So what they're beginning to do is reduce the bee numbers. Okay, and again, all that's brood, that's solid brood. There's a couple that are uncapped. It looks like one that might be a chalk brood in there, but the other one looks healthy, and they will uncap if they feel that the grub inside is maybe sickly or something with varroa. but if they're healthy, they just leave them there. If they're unhealthy, they will actually remove the grub and take it outside the hive and dump it. Again, that's all brood. Now, what I'll try and do is try and film this. This is all brood, and you can see obviously there's some honey along the edges, and if you can see this is all pollen. All this yellow and orange is all pollen. Make that into bee bread, where they mix that with a bit of honey and literally make a doughy substance called bee bread. Again, small patch of brood, lots of pollen, lots of honey, so plenty of stores. Oh. And the same again. I can hear that the smoke is wearing off because the volume has suddenly gone up. Just along the front, because that is where the guard bees are guarding the entrance. If you notice, we're working from the back, so we're trying to disturb them as little as possible. And that's very light, there's nothing in here. She's laying these up, I can see eggs all in there. So this one will again be totally covered in brood before long. Now there seems to be a pile of bees there, so but there's our queen, if you can see that, the one with the yellow spot. So she's looking for empty cells to lay an egg. Now where they live their life in the dark, so she's actually trying to find some dark space as well, so we will put her back in there. Now, to be honest, that's all we really need to do, because as I said, we want to disturb these bees as little as possible. So I've seen brood, I've seen eggs, I've seen the queen, she's healthy, nothing left that I need to do. So again, put these back in the order in which they came out. Maybe out of the way. That will slot back in there. So we've seen everything in there that we need to see. That hive is queen right. There's a laying queen in there. They've got plenty of stores, and they've even got surplus for us to harvest in 3-4 weeks time.